The interstate system of the United States is really wonderful and it really has helped Americans travel all over the country. However, there are many flaws in the system, and today we're going to talk about one designation that does not make sense and probably shouldn't exist. Today we're going to be heading over to Maryland, where in the Baltimore and Washington, D.C. suburbs, we find a Baltimore Annapolis connector known as I 97, which is the shortest interstate in the country. Before we go any further, I was just wondering if you guys wouldn't mind subscribing. That'd be really awesome and could help me make more content like this. We make content like this every week, so yeah, make sure you subscribe. Now, as I mentioned before, I 97 is the shortest interstate in the country that is two digits, and it is not the shortest by like a few miles, it's the shortest by a lot. All the other interstates are over 50 miles, whereas I 97 is only 19.7 miles. And it is important, but I don't think it really needs that designation. We'll go over more of that in later parts of this video. The plan for I 97 started back in the 1950s when Maryland wanted a Baltimore Annapolis connector known as the Arundel connector, which would help relieve traffic on Maryland 2, which was the only route between Annapolis and the Baltimore area at that time. However, Maryland did not have enough money at that time to make as another state highway that would relieve traffic, so they had to try to use interstate highways. And luckily for them, in downtown Baltimore, I 70 and I 83 were not going to be completed, so that gives them some funding, and with that, I 97 was sprouted. Now that we know why I 97 is an interstate and why it is not a state highway or even a three digit, I think we should discuss what better opportunities there are for this interstate and what it should be called. This map was made in 1979, and this was a possible route for I 97. And this, I think they should consider doing this now because, as it stands right now, US 50 in that area is a highway and it's supposed to be I 595, but there's no signage for it whatsoever. So they could easily make that into I 97 and increase the value of the name and give it some spur routes as well. Now, I talked about this in my first video as well, but they might want to consider making it into I 995 because, as I said before, the state of Maryland has every single 95 if you count I 595 except I 995. So that really it would make complete the set, and plus it's way better. It deserves a spur route designation and not an industry destination as it stands right now. Another possibility would be to extend I 70 or I 83 and along the 695 because that could also work really well and it would give I 83 and I 70 some extra mileage miles and it would connect them both. Whichever one is used, might connect them to I 95. If you've noticed that we're not really talking too much about the route and the signage, it's because there isn't really much to talk about, but I will go into detail a little bit right now just so that way you guys know. The route's southern terminus is US 50 in western Annapolis. And from here, it is signed north for Baltimore. The route of I 97 is pretty much all throughout suburbs of Baltimore and DC, and there is one time when it passes through and changes in their carriageway, but that is it. And at random interchanges, it is indeed 95 South Annapolis and 95 North Baltimore, because that is pretty much the only places it actually goes to. And I 97's northern terminus is I 695, and there's a way to get onto I 895 as well. I 97 is truly an interesting interstate, but I don't think it needs to be called I 97. And yeah, this interstate is something, but thanks for watching this short video, and see you next time.